Hello, fifth graders. Today you are going to learn the correct way to do a Google presentation. So what I would like you to do is go to your Google Classroom. I have information on there for you. Some of the things that you need to know about presentations are that they are intended to enhance something you're talking about. You have done the research, so you should be the authority on what you're talking about. You should not have to put all of the information that you want to share with your audience on the slide. That is incorrect. Also, slide colors. I have seen some appalling combinations of colors. When you're doing a presentation, maximum colors is 3. The colors need to match what it is that you're doing. In other words, for example, if you're doing a presentation on World War II, you're not going to use pink in your slides just because you like the color pink. We are going to go to our classroom, and I have preloaded some items for you. And at any time during this video, please have the substitute pause so that you can catch up if you need to. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to open the vote presentation that is on Google Classroom. As you guys should already know, in Google Classroom, you cannot edit. This is posted there, but you cannot edit. Once this loads, you are going to need to go to File and make a copy. So while I am waiting for this to load, because you might be waiting for yours to load as well, I am going to tell you, you are the authority on your topic. So your presentation is going to have a limited amount of text on the slide. The presentation has finally loaded, so I'm going to choose File. The presentation has finally loaded, so I'm going to choose File and make a copy. And I am going to put it in my Google Drive. I'm going to do Vote Yadov because I want your name on there. I'm going to go to my drive. From my drive, you can go to your classroom or your media, whatever folder you may have created for this class. I have several. So I'm going to go to media and I'm going to click OK. Once again, remember, anytime you need to, please pause the video. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to change the background color. This is a theme that I chose. I chose a basic, clean theme. This is where you can find themes. If you click on themes, it will show you some of the options that are available. Now remember, just because these are the colors they're showing doesn't mean you have to use them. So if you like the layout of something, you can use it, but if the coloring isn't appropriate, you can change it. You can also change the slide master, but we're not going to get into that in this particular lesson. So let's go ahead and click X right here to close the themes window. Once again, ask the sub to pause the video anytime you feel it's necessary. On slide 1, make sure you have the gray area around slide 1 over here in the pane. And then you're going to click on background, and we are going to change the background to red. We are going to leave slide 2 alone. We will go to slide 3. We will do the same thing. I'm on slide 3. I am not here on the slide. If I click in here on the slide, I lose my options. So I have to be over here. And then I'm going to go to background. And again, I'm going to hit the more button here. And I'm going to choose red. And I will click done. So now I have red, blue, red. So please pause the video. And anyone who is not to this point, please raise your hand. If necessary, replay the video. Next step, I'm going to click on slide 2. And I am going to duplicate this slide. I know all I have to do is hit the plus sign to add another slide, but I want to duplicate this slide. So I'm going to go to slide, and I'm going to duplicate the slide because I want it to be the same as the one before it. Now I have red, blue, blue, red. I want this slide between these two, so I am simply going to move it down with my mouse, with my trackpad. So now I have red, blue, red, blue. Pause the video. Anyone who is not at this point, please raise your hand. No conversation is necessary. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to go back to our classroom. We are going to open each one of these images and we are going to save it. You'll notice they are all named. So I'm going to open it, 2 fingers, 1 click on the trackpad, save image as, and I'm going to save this again to my media folder. So I have vote button ping. It's going into my media folder. I'm going to hit save. So I'm going to close this one. Then I am going to go right here and I'm going to hit the back arrow and I'm going to repeat the process. So if you didn't get it on the first one, pay attention on this one and then you can catch up. I'm opening the image, 2 fingers, 1 click on the trackpad, save image as, and then I'm going to save. Democrat and Republican JPEG, I'm opening it, 2 fingers, 1 click, save image as. Democrat and Republican JPEG, just as it should be. Media, save. Okay, so now for all practical purposes, I can close Google Classroom. So I'm going to do that so that things speed up a little bit. I'm going to close this one because I don't need it. And now I have this open. On slide 2, I want to insert an image. Voting is a way for a group to make a decision. I think we all agree that that's a true statement. So I am going to insert. You've learned this in Mrs. Walker's class, I'm sure. Choose an image to upload. And I need to find my media folder. And of course, I have so darn many folders in here. You guys are fortunate that you don't have to look like I do. Media. And I'm going to click on my vote, and then I'm going to select it. The next thing I am going to do is I am going to grab the corner sizing handle. Remember, we don't want to be doing any of this stuff. That's a no-no. We don't want to be doing that. We are going to grab a corner, any corner, and we are going to size it proportionately, and then we will move it into place. And if you want to do some gentle movement, you can arrow up or down or left or right to move your picture around. Let's not spend too much time on that. Please click on slide 3, select the text, Control C to copy. You will notice that when I go into this text box, it is one large text box, and that is not what I want. So you have to listen very carefully here. If you're not at this point yet, pause the video, raise your hand if you're not at this point. Once we're here, we are going to tweak the layout a little bit. So I'm going to go to slide. I'm going to go apply layout. And I want title in 2 columns. So that is the layout I would like you to apply. And as you can see now, I have 2 text boxes. So what I want to do is I want to paste the text that I copied from here. So if you think you've lost the text, go ahead and select it and copy it again. And then Control V as in victory to paste it in there. The text is way too small. So I'm going to select it again, and I'm going to change the font size to 24. 24. Now I am going to insert a picture. What is a party? Groups of people with similar interests who join together to support candidates. Let's fix the J in join here because that doesn't need to be capitalized. And then let's go over here and we're going to add an image. So we're going to go back to Insert, Image. Remember, at any time you can pause the video, Insert, Image. Obviously, if we're talking about parties, and we know that we have a Republican and a Democratic Party because you learned this in Mrs. Walker's class, I am going to choose this image and I am going to select it. And then I am going to move it into place. And in this case, I think I would like to enlarge the picture a little bit. So I am going to grab a corner sizing handle and I'm going to make it a bit bigger. And then I'm going to use my arrows to move it into place. Now for slide 4. Remember, raise your hand if you've fallen behind and the video will be paused. For slide 4, so we don't want this text. So exercise your right is what I want you to type in there. EXERCISEYOURRIGHT. Exercise your right to vote because a lot of people died for that right. So what we're going to do right here is we are going to type in many people lost their lives for your right to vote.
All right, what is 3 times 10?
And then here I am going to insert yet another image. And every vote counts, America. Select. And again, we will resize it. And then I'm using my arrows to ever so gently move it into place. So you have a 4-slide presentation about voting. Notice how I do not have a lot of text on here. This is very brief. I don't have a lot of gimmicky stuff on here. It's not pink, it's not purple, it's not Green Bay Packers, it's not Vikings. It is red, white, and blue. Okay, so this is the appropriate way to create a PowerPoint presentation. You are the expert. You don't need to put all of the information that you are sharing with your audience on the slide. You will not look at the presentation as you are giving it. How many of you have stood in a classroom and had a classmate of yours turn their back to you while they're reading a PowerPoint presentation? That is not how you give a presentation. There will be more lessons on this, I hope, to follow. Thank you very much and good luck. Have a great weekend.